Oh, I wonder if my hanger's turned up at home.
I don't know. Don't know why I said it like that. Like, I'm the delivery man. I haven't delivered them yet, Claire. Sorry.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
You had one fucking job.
I've been too busy hanging around. Hello, welcome back to WhatAreMovie. I am Tony. And we're back for more It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Last time, Wolf Cola had a public relations nightmare.
Yeah.
We saw some more fight milk, puking and pooping everywhere.
Thinking about it, I would not know if any company was in a public thing.
You'd know.
Nah, I don't watch the news.
No, but you browse the internet.
I guess so.
You probably hear about it. You probably hear. Yeah, we are on to Season 12, Episode 5. This aired on the 1st of February 2017, directed by Maurice, Marable, and written by Conor, Galvin. So Maurice directed Old Lady House.
Oh, okay.
And Conor Galvin wrote McPoyle versus Ponderosa.
Okay.
The trial of the century. So, what are we getting ourselves into?
I would like to see a cat.
A cat? Why a cat? Oh, because that was what we saw last time.
Last time he wrote.
That's true. That is true. We saw a cat.
I want to see her full-on cat.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. Full reactions in the description. You enjoy a copy to watch along. Just make sure to come back. We'll talk all about it. Let's just do it. Let's go.
I need some ponderosas. Oh.
911, what's your emergency?
Oh God, in an alley, and there's
Sir,
the hell?
what's in the alley?
I think it's a cat, or maybe it's not. I'm not sure.
What is happening?
You need to call animal control.
No, it's
A cat?
It's not a cat. It's a woman.
It's not a cat.
It's also a cat. It's a cat.
Did I predict this?
Yeah.
It's not a prank.
Or a woman, sir.
When you say cat.
Whatever it is, its neck is broken. It's dead.
All right, let's get started. What do you guys want to know?
This is like your kind of thing. Making a murderer, you're into all this sort of stuff. As soon as you said cat, I couldn't believe it.
But that was the highlight from that thing of her like chasing the laser pen up the thing.
Yeah. Well,
Making-
different intro. Making
a
Dennis
murderer.
Reynolds a murderer.
That was an actual.
Yeah.
The woman-born Maureen
Oh
Ponderosa.
my god, this is great.
She's dead.
South Philadelphia.
Did she try to like? Did she think she had like 9 lives?
Maureen had begun her transition to a cat. She went by the name Bastet.
So much for
Animal
having 9
control.
lives. This cat did not land on her feet. She
9
landed on her neck.
lives.
Authorities
Damn.
soon focused
How did
on
her
the
tail
suspicious
get chopped
nature
off?
of her death.
I've seen a lot of things. Man wants to turn himself into a woman. Okay, who am I to judge?
He's very progressive. There you go.
A cat? What's next? A watermelon?
Okay.
We wanted to establish as to whether the deceased was acting strange. Not like I'm turning myself into a cat strange.
Yes.
It's already quite strange,
I
yeah.
learned that she was excited about an upcoming surgery. A reverse nipplectomy. That's where they add more nipples. Alright. She wanted more nipples.
Who doesn't?
Thought of that just makes me want to blow my lunch. Now, apparently, the ex-husband was on the hook for this surgery due to an alimony arrangement. Wasn't happy about it.
I bet he wasn't.
That's when he became our primary
Yeah.
suspect.
I mean, it was the most expensive procedure yet. Kept my cool, and I never threatened her in any way.
Do you believe
If
this?
you want to get more nipples, please get more nipples. Get 1,000 nipples. The more nipples, the better, Maureen. I'm gonna turn myself into a dog. Oh, does that make you nervous?
Oh my. Very
Me
passionate.
driving earlier.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me where you were that night?
Watched a movie with my roommate Matt. Went over to the bar for a couple drinks.
He answered every question, even offered DNA sample. He had a request to draw his own blood.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Little
Reynolds.
bit odd.
Yeah.
Right back.
It wasn't until I reviewed the interrogation footage later, very unsettling. 24 years on the job. I've never seen anything like it. 2 hours. Never moved. Never blinked.
I mean, I'm not shocked at being Dennis.
My gut told me this guy was guilty of something.
Of something. Yeah, well, I mean, we all know he's...
Maureen, no. Am I glad she's dead? Sure.
That's That's a bit incriminating, isn't it?
I mean, well, you can be glad someone's dead and not have killed them.
Maureen died 3 years ago. Dennis killed Bastet. Eh? Let me tell you something. He did us all a favor. You ever seen a grown woman take a dump in a sandbox?
He has a point.
I have.
Was there anything in Dennis Reynolds' past that would suggest him capable of murder?
He kind of snapped the neck off a crow one time a little bit.
A little
But
bit?
that's not normal, right? You know? He's just like boys being boys. Totally
Don't
normal
think that
childhood.
is.
And, like,
Covering for him because she's afraid he's gonna snap her neck like that crow.
he didn't just snap it. He broke the thing's head clean off. I still have nightmares about it, and I'm old.
She told you what? That crow was injured, and I was simply putting it out of its misery.
Wow.
Of course.
Yes, testing the tensile strength of a crow's neck. Well, yes, there was another crow, but that's because I simply couldn't believe that a crow's neck could be that weak. Well, yes, there was a third crow, and a fourth. If you
Oh my god.
Who likes crows?
Look, if you can kill a crow, you can kill a cat.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That's why I started recording all our conversation.
I know you. I know your character.
This is great.
I know the type of person you are. That's why I know you definitely didn't do it. Be honest with me. Talk to Daddy.
Would you talk it? It's being so obvious.
So if you murdered her, it ain't on me. All that being said,
I'm washing my hands of the situation.
reading something right now? Why are you calling me? We don't talk on the phone. To see if you want to confess.
Oh my god.
Confess? Okay, yeah. Here's a confession. My father, Frank Reynolds, owned a sweatshop in Vietnam. Of innocent people.
Bye-bye.
I suspected Frank was probably recording all of our conversations. Started recording all of our conversations as well.
They just
I could have
don't
worn a
trust
goddamn
each other.
IMAX camera around my neck and he wouldn't have noticed.
IMAX.
Pretty troubling stuff.
What are we watching here? Is that me?
Cats, I'll tell you what to do with cats.
Who shot this thing, Dennis?
Back in the sweatshop, we found a cat. Was it right in the soup? Those hungry bastards
my.
ate cat soup. What's the worst thing that could happen? Some little kid choke on a hairball and die. So then you toss him in the soup.
Oh god.
Hand or foot. Literally. Somebody lost a hand or a foot, I toss it in the soup.
I love the close-ups.
Well, that's all a lie. There was no soup. No.
Is he nervous?
I gotta go to the can.
You're caught. You're caught. Keep it cool, Frank.
He's so stupid.
Kebby! I'm running away from an interview because I just got busted saying a lot of illegal stuff. I definitely did. Sweatshop stuff in Vietnam.
My god, Frank.
Like that. Your limitations. Wait. Flip back around. They put a nice food spread on
Oh
one.
my god.
Whoa, look at the dumper on you.
Fuck off, creep.
I mean, I'm not surprised by any of that.
Yeah, you're just that it's a family trait.
Yeah, incriminating himself.
Provided to authorities.
We watch an old movie, and then I turn the volume down really low, and we make wiseacre remarks.
It's just Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's exactly that.
Well, there's no robots.
So it's worse.
Oh, come on, Dennis. It's funny.
It's not funny. It's not funny at all because you can never think of jokes on the fly. Dude, he like pauses the movie to try and think of something funny to say.
That sounds like a Mac
So he
thing
ends
to
up
do.
just saying a line from Borat or Austin Powers.
Get in my belly.
But you're never referring to anything when you say it.
Yeah, baby, get in my belly.
Well, that's two different characters. Mike Myers. It's not Mike Myers. It's multiple
They are both
characters that
played
Mike
by-
Myers plays in the same movie.
Multiple characters in the same movie. What is he, a wizard? Look, fine.
His face!
Are we done with this? Can we be done?
Oh my god.
I'm tired of saying the same things.
Are you mad at me?
Investigators could find no
Aw, poor Matt.
discrepancies in the timeline. But then,
He totally could have done it. Remember that Maureen was once Dennis's
Wife. Very nice.
Very nice.
That was Borat. It was Friday. Payday.
Have you ever seen Borat?
No.
Oh, we need to watch it.
Pick up her alimony check ASAP.
Reenactment.
to avoid confusion, it should be
God.
pointed out that in a bizarre twist, Deandra Reynolds refused to be a part of this documentary unless we allowed her to play Maureen.
My it's fun.
Dennis always made a big show of getting her with the spray bottle. You know, because cats hate water.
It's so ridiculous.
Charlie was there. Why hasn't he spoken up? Probably because Dennis intimidated him. Oh, I just thought it'd be more dramatic if I...
Oh, come on. Intimidate Charlie, please. What am I going to do? Call him on the phone and threaten him? No, I know. But, I mean, if Mac's going to do it, then I'm going to do it.
We need another camera. So you can, like,
Yeah? What are you doing? Why do you keep saying yeah? Are you watching wrestling?
No.
I can hear the wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turn it on.
This conversation is yielding a lot of good information.
You are my alibi, dude.
Yeah, you're my alibi, dude.
Like,
What does that mean? I can't be your alibi because you're not a suspect. Get your shit together.
Charlie can barely focus when there's one thing going on. Hello, too.
Not mention anything about what's in my safe.
Why do they keep incriminating themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm hanging up.
You have to tell me the truth about everything.
Yeah.
Now he
Yeah.
hurt Maureen, right?
Yeah,
How do you know he hurt Maureen?
I guessed it.
that doesn't help. You can't just
Did
guess.
Dennis break her neck?
Gave her a pile driver?
Oh, my God.
Come from behind and I did a chokehold.
You were involved?
He's getting his wrestling mixed up, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
You kill people?
I do choke slams.
Christ
And I,
sakes, you gotta give me something.
I'm not supposed to tell you what's in his safe.
I turned. But there's the...
No.
Cat tranquilizers?
Are you on these tranquilizers right now, child?
Yeah.
That explains a lot. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
This guy. I feel sorry for him.
Revealed a cache of suspicious items.
Catnip.
Peculiar how these things wound up in your place.
Not really. Ponderosa household didn't exactly accept Maureen. He and I made an arrangement. She would keep some of her things at my apartment in exchange for a reduction in my alimony. If there's going to be some special K lying around, Charlie's going to do it. That's why he's been giving you all those strange and totally unreliable answers.
How can he be your alibi then if he's giving unreliable answers?
Would need to be thrown out. Another breakthrough came. Autopsy results came back.
This arrangement that you had with your ex. That doesn't explain this autopsy report. Collections of hair found in the esophagus. Any guess as to whose it is?
I think we could turn the cameras off.
I can't do that.
Why?
Were they still...
I let her lick me. It's a cat grooming thing. Maureen enjoyed the fantasy, and she would knock an extra $15 off of
Oh my God, anything to get money off the other.
Is getting groomed like a cat by your ex weird? Yep.
Being groomed but like a cat by anyone is weird.
Yeah.
Was at a crossroads.
Dennis has an answer for everything. Answer me this. Where's the collar? Cats have collars. Killers keep trophies.
His face.
That's all I'm saying. Find the collar. Find the killer.
Oh God. Do we need more reenactments?
D. Reynolds had oddly made the collar an issue during filming.
Stop with the squirting! Stop! We said one spray, and then my line. It was in my contract. One squirt there.
Oh my God.
On purpose. This
She's a
collar,
total
there's
diva,
something
isn't
with the
she?
collar. It's driving me nuts. Is an actual flea collar? My neck's burning.
She looks creepy, doesn't she?
Collar actually burning her.
Yes, asshole. It was burning my skin. You want to zoom in on this?
Hard
Yeah,
to say.
okay.
But
Hard to say.
There's another reason she removed it. Maybe Deandra didn't want to wear the collar in order to cover for her brother. He then discovered
It's all very complicated,
piece
isn't
of
it?
footage
So,
that
man.
blew the doors wide open on this case.
What?
Was I a person of interest? Yeah, I am an interesting person. But at the end of the day, I'm just some guy, crazy ex-wife who fell off of a roof pretending to be a cat. I was cleared. Case closed.
Oh my God!
Very nice.
Very nice. Montage.
I was imagining
As of
Frank's head
2017,
right next to that. They're
Dennis
whispering.
Reynolds
Still at large. This was an open and shut case. Maureen never wore a collar. You guys put that there.
We needed a big twist at the end to
For God's
But
sake.
I'm not guilty. What about the security footage? It shows her prancing around on the roof like an asshole, and then she just falls off.
People don't want to see that because it's hard evidence. You know what I mean? Like, it's better not
It
to
ruins
say
the
that
whole
until,
illusion of the
like,
story.
Maybe episode 10, and then let people decide then.
10 episodes? You're gonna do 10 episodes?
even then we would keep it vague because that's entertainment. You know, someone gets
Is that how these shows go?
show, but you never
Yeah.
get an actual.
Yeah.
Sort of like eating a bag of chips. At the end, you're sick. You want to go back for more.
You want more chips.
I get that. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm gonna find these tapes and I'm gonna destroy them.
Okay, good episode where he's destroying. He's destroying the tapes.
You know what? That would be very nice. That's it. But
I feel like he's gonna murder someone at this rate.
Who is that? Now, who is that?
He looks like he's ready to kill.
Yeah.
I'm actually very surprised if they made that video because that was a high quality
It was.
piece of footage. Yeah, there we go. So, making Dennis Reynolds a murderer.
I really liked that one.
I'm not surprised. You love crime,
Yeah.
drama-y,
How
murder, unsolved
How
murder.
weird
and
though.
that you mentioned.
It was the writer. It was
Yeah.
the writer that was like,
That's
oh.
what, yeah, because when
we
you
hadn't
said it,
seen
I was like, do you know what we're watching?
but we hadn't
yeah.
seen her since.
The last time you saw was when Conor
Yeah.
Galvin wrote. Yeah, so.
And like you start to see a trend between writers.
A little bit,
like
maybe,
you can,
I think. Yeah.
Like we know, like when the OG gang write, that it's gonna really draw back to the OG,
kind of.
like a lot of the time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can kind of see a little
Yeah.
trend with certain people.
I was thinking, like, are we gonna get like foils?
Just as soon as you said that, I was like, oh my god. I mean,
Maybe we get a
did
cat.
we quite get her as you thought?
I didn't expect her to be dead.
She's dead!
Yeah.
Maureen Ponderosa, they just killed her off. Like, oh. I
It's-
mean, where do you
well,
go from
yeah,
making
she's
her
like
a cat?
turning into a cat. And it is
Yeah.
how long can you keep this like storyline of Dennis being annoyed about paying
Alimony,
alimony?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
however,
Maureen died 3 years ago.
whatever.
It's Bastet who died. Yeah, interesting episode. I knew you'd like it because
Yeah.
you watch these sort of shows anyway, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Making a Murderer
Yeah.
itself? Yeah, because you were like clocking like, wait a second, that's an actual...
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I don't know if they ever did a season. They were due to do a season 2.
Oh,
don't know
it was
what
like
happened.
one season?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
just
was
one.
that it? Oh.
Yeah, no, it was just about one person.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was just about murdering one person for a whole
How
series.
weird. But there's lots of shows like this, in
Yes.
this vein. And exactly what they were saying at the end was like, oh, we'll drag it out for 10 episodes, then we'll leave it open. Even though there's hard, we'll leave it open.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Who was it? Someone I was talking to the other day said that they hate true crime
Probably me.
shows.
Yeah, I think it was me. I don't know if I said shows.
No.
I've never...
Because I said about the unsolved murders that you can
Yeah,
watch on Netflix.
yeah,
and stuff. But they said they hate it when it's unsolved because they want a... They want...
See, I feel like you'd be the opposite and you'd always want the answer because you're like that with TV shows.
Oh, I do want the answer. But then I also love...
An unsolved thing is cool.
It sounds... Yeah, that...
Mystery adds something to life. Like, if you have all the gaps and the answers filled in, what's the point anymore?
But it's not... It's unsolved,
You know?
but at the same time, it's like... There's so... Like, when you watch these things, there's so many loopholes that you're like, so what? Nobody saw them. Like, someone must have seen them.
Yeah.
Like, it's unsolved, but it's kind of like, will this get solved? Like...
Yeah. Well, this was a closed
someone
case,
knows.
apparently.
And all it takes is for one person.
This was
to-
an open and shut case, you know?
Yep.
They have the evidence, but nobody wants that. You want to drag it out.
Yep.
Yeah, my mum watches these TV shows as well, so... Yeah, but I've never really watched them. But we started off with a phone call. She's dead. It's a cat? Maybe? It's a person? What? I don't know.
It's the 911 call of Dennis
Oh.
saying that something's dead.
Yeah. Was it actually Dennis saying
Yeah.
it on the phone? It sounded like him a bit, but yeah. Yeah, and the operator's like, stop messing around. What are you talking about? What is it, a cat or a woman? What?
Yeah.
Maureen, dead.
And this is where we find her neck has been broken.
Yeah, her name was Bastet after the ancient Egyptian god that worshipped cats or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. But yeah, she landed on her neck. There
But
you
it goes
go.
through this whole little documentary type show of like questioning everyone.
Yeah, we got like it was like even the intro was different. Like the credits, it's really cool. That's what I like about, like I said at the beginning of this season as well. Like we're getting some really creative, different episodes because like you got to mix it up and change it. And this was different. The detective was saying, "Is being a cat strange?" Yeah, sure. No. He was like. Like if a man wants to be a woman, fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Like that's absolutely fine. Someone want to be a cat? That's a bit strange, Yeah. What's next? A melon? But very like it's insane as well. Like I know I've said this about the show before. This show is very progressive in the way that it's very accepting of different people.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the main characters are assholes.
Yes.
It's still very open and it's never poking down or like. Yeah, it's never
because it's even like this whole thing with Matt and being gay. We all know he's gay, but like doesn't want to admit.
But there are people like
that. It's not the fact that it's a bad thing for him because, like we saw in that episode, that when he was like, "I'm gay," and they were all like, "Oh, finally!"
Yeah, and they're all fine with it.
Yeah,
they're
and
just
quite
like,
supportive over it, but it's just him that doesn't want to.
Yeah, but the show is like known for that, and I what I was going to say as well is very timely considering what our bloody Prime Minister has just said.
Yes.
Like the timing of that, like is just insane. Like. Whereas like something like this can be so open-minded and and this was made in 2017, 6 years ago, and it's still a hot issue, like a lot of things in this show. So
we learn about
she was getting a reverse nipplectomy
to have extra nipples that Dennis was paying for, but wasn't happy.
He was not happy. It was very
they're going
expensive.
to the alimony, and he's like, "Oh, I do." And then we get the voice.
Like, the guy. I like the detective was like, "I'm going to blow my lunch here about that." Like,
and then he's like, and then the ex-husband become the prime suspect after a voicemail where he was like, "I don't care how many nipples you have.
The more nipples, the better." What if I become a dog? Then what? It's so mad. It's insane.
This episode was chaos.
It's like, were you scared of me? That's offensive to me because that's what dogs are. They're aggressive and
it was just chaos.
Yeah.
Because then he had an alibi.
Yeah.
He was with Mac, and then we interviewed Mac.
Well, no, they were talking like in that little like room, and then he was kind of
and then
he starts talking about coffee shop like being like all nice. He's like, he was like charming and like
he seemed really nice. And then what happened after?
I look back on the footage. It's 2 hours of staring. I know what the thumbnail is going to be because my god, well maybe, but Claire's going to do it now for 2 hours. There you go.
I'm blinking. I'm not very good at it.
Next, we actually got Bill Ponderosa for a very brief moment. Yeah.
And I said she died 3 years ago, but...
Yeah, Bastette's the one who died. But have you ever seen a grown woman shit into a sandbox?
Dennis did a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then we interviewed Dee, and she talks about how when he was younger, he snapped a crow's neck. Not on purpose. He was just
and then it flicks over to Frank.
I love all the camera angles of like the hands and
because then it flicks to Frank, who's saying the same about the crows and snapping the crows. And
Dee's just covering from because she's scared he's going to snap her neck.
And then they ask Dennis about it, and they're like, "Yeah, I snapped a crow, but I wondered how strong its neck was."
Tensile strength.
What about the second one? The second one was just because I didn't understand why.
There was a third and a fourth one.
No, there was a fourth one.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And that's what Frank says. He's like, you can snap a crow's neck, you can snap a cat's neck. Like, where does it end?
Yeah.
So Frank said he was recording all their conversations, and we get play. Like, I like we got all like the photos of him when he was younger.
Yeah.
They always do that in these types of shows as well. And then like news reports are like that as well, aren't they? Like, like if there's a horrible killer or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, he was lovely, family man." Like, okay, but look what he done.
Yes.
But we get Frank being very blatantly obvious, like, you can tell your daddy, like,
and he's just like, why?
He don't want to admit to anything.
You don't even call me. Like,
it's like, are you reading something? Like, It's like, I'd like to admit something. I'd like to admit that you had a sweatshop in Vietnam. It's like, why do they keep recording and then play this stuff back to people? Every time they just incriminate themselves.
But then it's like when Dennis is like, so, I got suspicious of
Saying
Frank
that,
then.
though.
So I started recording all our conversations on this. I could walk around with an IMAX camera around my neck, and he wouldn't even realise.
Yeah. I wanted to say about like people who like do that, incriminate themselves. So I remember seeing a clip of a guy. They've come for me. That's really loud.
It must be going on. I thought it was them.
Yeah, I thought it was them starting that bloody work.
Like, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a constant hum throughout the whole of Person of Interest discussion, but I don't know about the reaction. But yeah, I was going to say there was a clip of a guy who basically kind of admitted to something, or in a way, like him doing it afterwards, and he's like, I bet you wish you recorded that, and it's like, we're still recording, like, I'm like, I don't know what he said, but the way he said it, yeah. So it happens. People are dumb. Yeah, they bring Frank in the show, he's like, what is that? Is that me?
Is that me? And then he's talking about being in the sweatshops, and that when a cat would die in the sweatshop, he'd just put it in the soup, and then love the soup. If a kid died, it got chucked in the soup.
Kid choked on it, just chuck him in the soup.
He's like, if anyone lost any hands or feet, just chuck him in the soup.
He's just like rubbing his hands, like burping, and he's like, no. This is a famous gif that goes around of Frank. No.
He's like, please, can I go to the toilet? And it's great because he's still mic'd up.
Yeah, I love the black.
I
love the black title thing saying this was captured.
Yeah, and then you just see him running out to a taxi.
Frank, you've been caught.
Yeah. He's like, I've just been caught.
Take me back to Paddy's. I've just been caught doing illegal, talking about illegal stuff that I definitely did, but
yeah, the statute of limitations.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
are you serious?
Oh, turn me back round.
I had a good food spread there. It's like they're the worst. This is when we get to finally see Mac.
Yes.
And he's an alibi because they were watching a film.
Yeah.
But they would turn down the volume.
Yes.
And then comment over it, make jokes. And then that's when Dennis like, it's just Mystery Science Theater 3000. Like, have you ever heard of this show?
No.
Yeah, they used to do that. I've never watched it myself, but that was a thing. Like, yeah, they'd look at old, obscure things, I think, and talk about them.
But I like after they finish this.
After? We're finished. There's still got a lot to go. What after? God.
They're just talking. They're just arguing
No, because like he says,
and stuff.
well, yeah, I like it. It pays off as well. Because like he says, like Mac's like, well, it's different. There's no robot. It's like, well, so it's more boring than Mystery Science Theater. It's like, and you can't think of jokes. You'd have to pause the thing and then think of a joke. It reminds me of the Michael Scott thinking of a joke pun thing. Yeah, it reminds me of that. And then you just do a Borat or a Austin Powers impression. And he starts doing them. And then he's got confused. This is a complete Mac thing as well, I want to point out. Mac gets very confused on things that are clear as day. So I don't know, they kind of revealed it in here, but in Austin Powers, Mike Myers plays multiple characters. And he's like, what, is he a wizard?
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then Dennis leaves. But
and then he's like, oh, I can't remember what he said.
Matt comes back over, he's like, he could have probably done it. Like, definitely.
Like,
he said something about Maureen was his wife. Very nice. They're like, what is that? That's Borat. He just wanted to do a Borat impression. Yeah, we need to watch Borat.
Yeah.
It's a funny film because, like, speaking of, The Office and Michael Scott, it's a mockumentary.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's completely different in tone to The Office, but yeah, it's very good and it's very insane. The stuff he got away with, because he would just go out and film stuff in public and just, it's insane. Some of it is so cringy as well, but yeah, we're gonna watch that one day. Anyway, speaking of Is He a Wizard, that is a quote from Bruno, the other film.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because he goes to meet a terrorist, I think, a real-life terrorist, and he calls Osama bin Laden a dirty old wizard in front of him. It's like, this man has the balls of... I do not know. I didn't watch the whole of that film. I couldn't get through it. So there we go. That's a weird connection. Anyway, next, we get a reenactment. With Deandra starring
you should
as
only agree to be on it if she could play the cat.
Which totally is a DP.
Yeah. And her being like...
Yeah, the way she's acting and like... She'd come by the pub to get her payment every so often.
Every month, every payday.
Yeah. She's just dressed as a cat, and like the guy sprays her. And Charlie actor in the background.
Yeah. And that's where the detective's like, so you did see her on the day? And then Dennis is like, well, it wasn't really... It didn't really need to be said.
Charlie's my alibi. And then he talks, we hear him talking to Charlie on the phone. My God, this phone call. Yeah. Are you watching wrestling? I can hear the wrestling. No. I can hear it in the background. You're my alibi, right? And then it's like all this, and then right at the end he's like, "Now don't tell anybody what's in my safe."
Yeah. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Then you see Charlie get
questioned,
and just like, yeah.
So did he kill him? Did he kill her? And he's like, yeah. It's like, what? Because I guessed it. It's like, no, do you know he did it or what?
It's like we both.
He did a pile driver, and I did this.
Yeah, we both broke.
Don't watch the wrestling. It's so weird. The detectives are so like pissed off.
He's like, you need to tell me something. He's like, Dennis told me not to tell you.
Safe.
And he's like, oh, what is in the safe?
Cat tranquilizers. Yeah, so you on the tranquilizers now? Yeah. And we cut to showing Dennis.
Yeah.
We've got cat treats, laser pointer.
Yeah.
All sorts.
So explain this. Is that her family wasn't accepting of her transition.
Yeah, her family's a mess.
I agreed to hide some of the stuff.
Yeah. For knock on the alimony payment. Yeah. It's like, and then they get the autopsy results. Explain this. She had a hairball in her throat. It's your hair.
Huh? Oh, I didn't know if we'd got the second reenactment in the pub by that point.
No. Because that's afterwards. But there's like...
There's hair in her throat.
Can we turn off the camera?
No.
I let her lick me. It's like, what? It's like a kangaroo thing, you know.
She'd take off $15.
I like how the detective... Yeah, he'd take off money, yeah. He'd do anything to take off money.
Yeah. It's just that...
I like how the detective afterwards was like, it's a bit weird letting your ex-wife groom you. Oh, yeah.
I was like, it's a bit weird anyway. Grooming you.
Yeah. And that's when we cut to Frank saying, the collar. You find the collar? You find the killer.
Oh, yes.
And then Dee was very insistent on wearing it or whatever, not or something. She got sprayed a lot and then it was reacting.
And then it turned out to be a flea collar.
They were all
like one. In our contract, it says only spray once.
Yeah. I like how that's a very like diva-ish kind of movie star thing. But I like the questioning of like, did it actually burn you? And then she's like, of course it did. And they're like, still inconclusive.
And then Frank's like, she's just covering up.
Yeah. For what Dennis was gonna do. Yeah. It's hard to say. That's what the wording was. It's hard to say if it did burn. Clearly.
Find the collar. Find the collar.
And then they ask, Dennis, were you a person of interest? I'm a very interesting person.
I feel like I've said this too much about us watching Person of Interest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I find the show very interesting.
Yeah. So, and then Dennis gets up. Collar's there. And it turns out it's a show. It's a show
that Mac and Charlie
are making.
It's really good.
Then it's like, what the hell? Like, it's an open and shut case.
Yeah.
There's evidence. Like,
you left off the security camera with her prancing around
like an arsehole
on the roof.
Falling.
And then falling.
Yeah. It's like, but we're going to leave that like 10 episodes and then we'll probably reveal it. No, it won't be clear. We'll still leave it open. Which is totally how these shows go. It's totally to just draw you in to watch more.
There's another one I watched called The Staircase.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that.
Or just The Staircase. Yeah. And you're going along thinking this whole time, this husband has brutally murdered his wife out of nowhere. But I think he's still been charged for it. But the defence of it is it was actually an owl that attacked her. There's so much evidence to support that an owl attacked her.
An owl. Okay.
But he's still been,
It's bizarre. This show's bizarre.
It is very bizarre for an owl to get into your house.
They kind of feel in a way a bit... I mean, if the person done it, fine. But they do feel quite exploitative. Yeah. They feel in the same way as like Jerry Springer or something like that, or Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah,
do you know
I think
what I mean?
it's also like a lot of them are based in America.
Yeah.
And as an onlook, like what we see of like some crimes and how some crimes are set up in America and stuff, I can kind of see. But like, there's probably crimes set up in the UK, but because we live in the UK, we don't see it as much. You know, like when you're an outsider looking into something, you're like,
I kind of get you.
Yeah, they're very much played out like someone's messed up the crime scene.
Yeah. Well, they're always, those shows anyway are very misleading, and they're trying to like drag it along, and just get as much content out as nothing as they can. It's like the Hobbit films. Tiny little book, let's make 3 long ass films.
But they're good.
I've not seen them, so I can't judge.
You do realise they made 3 long ass films, but they still missed stuff out of the books.
There's no way.
There is.
Stretched that nonsense
No, they
out
didn't.
in the Hobbit.
They missed things out of the book.
They definitely did.
I have read the book.
Anyway, I've got the train. I've not seen him, so I can't say anything. Anyway, that was it, really. And they're off like, he starts doing impressions again of Borat and stuff. And Dennis just looks pissed. Why?
No, I'm never going to
Never gonna see Cat Lady.
Huh? Nipples.
The reverse nipplectomy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if she suddenly had loads of nipples?
She will, yeah. There we go. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see someone's nipples next time. There we go. Interesting episode. I knew Claire would enjoy it. But we are halfway through season 12.
Yes.
We have 5 episodes left. 4.
This could be my favourite. Oh no. Got reminded of the water park episode.
Water park was good. Yeah.
And I was thinking this could be my favourite episode, and then I'm suddenly like, and then I'm suddenly like,
mine's The Gang Turns Black. That episode's so good. It's so good. But there are some more episodes I've seen in this season that I really like as well, so we've got that to look forward to. Otherwise, 4 more episodes.
Yes.
I have not seen any more.
Woo!
Exciting times. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next on the channel. Is our new show, which I'm not quite sure decided which one it is yet, but we might have mentioned it in this anyway. So, excuse me, look forward to that. Anyway, we'll be back. My voice went a bit weird.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
The demon is escaping. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye.